What's going on, everybody? So I had a vision during prayer a few nights ago, and God really just blew me back with this vision. I've never had a vision as gory and repulsive as a vision I'm about to share with you. And I really had to sit on it and really just make sure that this was something that was coming from God and something that He wanted me to share. And He urged me to share this because this is currently happening, and He wants His children to be aware, and He wants us to be prepared for what's going to come. And there's a lot of growth and a lot of changes that we have to make, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. So I'm going to get right into what I saw. So I had a vision during prayer that, firstly, the ground was being split open, and you could see deep into the ground, deep into the ground, into the earth's core. And there were red skies and dark clouds. And what I heard in the spirit was that hell is being opened viciously this month for Halloween. Hell is being opened. And God also showed me portals being opened in the spirit from hell all over the world. Portals are being opened in the spirit from hell. And He also showed me people signing over their souls. People willingly giving themselves over to Satan. So this is like a kind of a 3-part vision. Actually, it's a vision that I had maybe 2 separate days, but I'm putting it all together because it's all connected. All of it is connected. So people were signing over their souls, and God was telling me that people are willingly giving themselves over to Satan because of their desires, because of the things that they really want more than God. They were what I literally saw was people signing their name, and Satan was literally pulling their souls from their bodies and taking their souls, and the people walked away kind of like zombies, like they weren't even themselves anymore because they had given over their soul. Okay, so that was a first vision that I had. Then another night during prayer, God gave me a vision of people having sex. It was a big group of people having sex, and it was a huge kind of like blood sex orgy. And all of these people it was in this really big coliseum, looked like a mansion of sorts. It was really big, like columns, like those columns that you see in Greece, things like that. Or if you think about like during, just to give an example, like Hercules, like the cartoon Hercules movie, even though that's a Greek god, but those are the columns back then, like to hold up the structures. I remember seeing them, and they were marble and white, and these people, it must have been hundreds of them, and it was a big just sexual orgy, and it was blood involved, and it was just so disgusting. And I literally couldn't believe that I was seeing this, and I felt sick to my stomach. And immediately I just started seeing people just zoned out, their eyes. It just looked like they weren't there. So it's similar to the first vision I had when people were, when they were just kind of zombified, and they gave their souls over to Satan. So once they did that in the spirit, they didn't, they were no longer who they originally were, because they had given over their soul. But after I saw this vision, I immediately heard in the spirit, Kundalini spirit. Now, I've heard of Kundalini spirit, but I didn't really fully know the definition of it. So I did some research after I heard this, because sometimes God will speak. I'll hear a word in my spirit and I immediately write it down. And I was immediately, after I looked up the definition, Kundalini spirit, the meaning of it is coiled snake. And immediately when I read this definition, I was taken aback to a previous vision that God gave me a few months ago about, and this is a previous video. You can go back on my page and look for this. A vision I had about a large snake that had a dragon head, snake body. It was wrapping itself around a tall skyscraper. And God told me this creature was called Leviathan. So that was the word I heard in my spirit during this vision. I did not know what Leviathan was. I read it in the Bible, didn't really understand what it was, did more research. When I looked up the definition of Leviathan, that means to twist or coiled. So immediately I'm thinking, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence that the Kundalini spirit and Leviathan literally have similar meanings. Okay. And then I researched Kundalini even further, and I found that Kunalini is actually a serpent power or feminine energy. Okay. So, and a lot of people use or tap into this spirit during yoga. So this is typically when this spirit shows itself, or when you can tap into it. But of course, I'm sure you can, the spirit can come upon anyone under other circumstances, because in this moment, I heard this in the spirit when I saw all of these people engaging in a huge bloody sex orgy. So I know I kind of went into this already, but I want to just mention that if there are children, please make sure that they are not listening to this. This is for adults, but I have to be completely blunt with what I saw. And I'll also put this in the description when I post the video as well, so that you all can know not to listen to this around your children. But yes, this is what I saw in the spirit. And it really just, like I said, it really repulsed me. So I'm sharing both of these visions because they are very much connected. It's showing that during this month, during October, during Halloween, the days leading up to it, if you have not noticed, the whole world erupts during Halloween season, just like they do during Christmas season. So it's the same thing. But I've noticed a difference. I think I've always noticed that everyone celebrated Christmas. Even when I was a kid, I celebrated Christmas, with the presents and all of that. But Halloween for me, I immediately noticed a significant difference in Halloween. When I was younger, a lot of adults did not really engage in Halloween like that, as far as I knew. It was mostly always kids that dressed up, did the trick-or-treating, and that was something that we did. But now we're seeing something where the adults are celebrating it more than the kids. And I mean, to the point where people's houses are decorated with Halloween themed, decorations like spider webs, skeletons, blood. And I mean, people's houses are decked out just like their houses would be totally decorated for Christmas. So it's literally the same thing. So I'm seeing this and I'm like, this is not like, it's just a total big shift in what it was when I was younger. And God would just speak to me and just say, this is a spirit that is over the earth, and it has gotten worse over the years. It's gotten worse, and people are literally under demonic influence, and they don't even realize it. Or maybe some people realize it and they don't really care because they want what they want. And a lot of the demonic activity that we see that's ravaging the earth, a lot of it is brought on by ourselves. We do this. We bring it on. So we have to understand that when we participate in certain things, and especially if we're a Christian, there are repercussions that comes with that. We cannot do what everybody else is doing. Just because it looks cool, just because it looks fun, doesn't mean it is. And God is really strict, and he's really straightforward about what he wants us to participate in. And it's not to be a harsh judge. And I want to get into what God had to say, because I wanted to always give him an opportunity to speak. When it comes to visions that I have, and him giving me more clarity on what I'm seeing. So I'll get into what he said and just end off that way. So Jesus began. Hell has truly been unleashed on earth. And he repeated himself. Hell has been unleashed on earth. Men fear hell beneath the earth, but hell is right here on earth. I am devastated by the atrocities that take place during Halloween every year. And as you've seen, my daughter, it has become a widely celebrated holiday that further ensnares my children and tricks them into worshiping Satan. This vision is only 1% of what goes on during this time of the year. And he's referring to the blood orgy that he showed me. Yes, only 1%. This is why I've warned my children to turn away from all ungodly and worldly things and cling to me. When you cling to me, I shield you from the attacks of Satan. But when you focus on everything else, you are easily deceived. Many who will listen to this message will believe that they aren't deceived. But I tell you that you don't see what I see. Don't assume that you have it all together. No one is good without me, and without seeking me on a constant and daily basis, you will already be pulled into deception. I urge you, my children, let go of the debauchery that you've allowed into your lives and hearts. This is pulling you further and further away from me. Cleanse your life from all ungodliness and draw closer to me. My return is fastly approaching, and I long to spend eternity with you. Don't allow the things of this world to pull you away from me. It's easier than you think, because your flesh is prone to evil and darkness. Only through me can you be pulled into the light. This is your call. This is your warning. Evaluate yourselves, no matter where you are in your walk with me. You all have correcting to do and sanctification to accomplish. Now is the time. There is no time to waste. I'm coming back, and I'm coming quickly. And that was the end of Jesus' message. And I really just felt the urgency from him with this word, with his message, because we have to understand that we're in the last days, and I know people are like, everybody's been saying that forever. But when I mean we're literally in the last days, in the last hours, like Jesus can come back at any moment now, any moment. As you know, there's so much going on in the world, so much that's not, put out in public, that's being hidden from us, that is going on in the world that shows that we're in the end of days. And it's obvious. And even the things that are being shown, it's obvious that we're at the end. So we can't live as if we have forever, because we don't have forever. Not on this earth, we don't. When we leave this earth, we're either going to go one of two places. We're either going to go to heaven to be with Jesus, or we're going to go to hell. So we have to understand that in either case, we have to go somewhere. We have to spend eternity somewhere. And the goal is to spend eternity with Jesus. We want to be with Jesus. We don't want to be stuck and be tortured in hell. We don't want to be in limbo. We want to be with Jesus. So I hope you take this warning. Do not celebrate Halloween. Do not even dress up. Don't dress up yourself. Don't dress up your kids. It doesn't matter even if you put them in the cutest of costumes. And people can think, that you're going too far. I'm not going too far. This is directly from the Lord. He is not okay with his children celebrating Halloween. Not at all. Not at all. We have been deceived to think that it's okay to dress up in harmless little costumes as long as they're not a witch or a warlock or a vampire or whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if you dress up as a strawberry, even if you dress up as an angel or a unicorn, it's all still giving glory and praise to Satan. And that's not who we worship. We worship God. So we want every aspect of our life to glorify God. So I'm urging you, you can pray about this as well. I pray that you would take heed to this warning, because this is coming directly from God. He is not okay with his children celebrating Halloween. He's not okay. We don't understand all of what's going on during this demonic holiday. We don't understand what's going on. And we need to be praying. We need to ask God to give us discernment, because if we seek God, he'll tell us. He'll show us. He's not trying to withhold anything from us. He doesn't want to withhold anything from his children. But if he sees that we don't have a desire to change, then he will withhold. He won't tell us, because he's like, you're not going to listen. You're not going to do anything about it. You're going to still do what you want to do. So I'm not going to show you what's going on. And we don't want to be in that place with God where he stops talking to us. I know I don't. I can't live without hearing from him. And in the moment that I feel like I can't hear from him, I'm all out of whack. And we have to be in that same place where it's like, Lord, I want to continuously hear from you. And I want to be obedient to what you're saying. I want to change my life to a life that's pleasing to you. I want to rid myself of every selfish thing that I've allowed to enter into my life and my heart. And that's the place that he wants us to get to. So I know this was a pretty long video, longer than most of my videos, but it was serious. This is serious business. We have to understand that, God is not playing. He's a loving God, but he's also a judging God. So his judgment also comes from his love. He judges those he loves, and he loves us as his children. So we have to understand that we can't just continue to do what we want and think that there aren't any consequences. There are consequences to everything that you do. And we want to make sure that we are glorifying God with everything that we do. So I love you guys. I pray that you go to prayer with this. Seek God about it. Seek the word. See what the word says about Halloween and celebrating anything of that nature that doesn't directly give glory to God. I'll leave you with this question that you can ponder on and take to prayer and see what you come up with. Do you think Halloween, the holiday itself, what it's actually about, do you think it glorifies God? Does Halloween does it give God glory? That's the question that I want to leave you with. So I pray you think on that, you pray on that, and I hope that you come up with the right answer. All right. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening, and God bless.